This video is a recording from the MenProvement Podcast, brought to you by MenProvement.com, the #1 self-improvement resource strictly for men. Go there today to see all podcasts, improve yourself as a man, and get access to 3 free ebooks, including one that will help you triple your testosterone naturally. Thank you and enjoy. Hi, my name is Sean, and I am a success addict.
Ready to take your life to the next level? Then you're in the right place. Get all the information you need to be better, improve everything, and live life like a pro. This is the MenProvement Podcast with Sean Russell.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MenProvement Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Russell, a self-improvement enthusiast who is obsessed with taking his life to the next level. And I created this podcast to help myself and men from all around the world do just that. Today, I have a very incredible episode for you that I recorded a few days ago with the CEO and owner of AddictedToSuccess.com, Joel Brown. Now, I've been a big fan of Joel for a while, and I love what he does, and I love his approach on success. So I got him on here to talk with him about all his strategies for success, while I input all the things that I have learned while studying successful people for the last year to 2 years. So altogether, this show is jam-packed with awesome information and applicable tips that you can go out and start using today to accelerate whatever you're doing. For the first 10 minutes, we talk about his background and where he came from and how he built his website to what it is. So if you're interested in learning how to build a website and getting it to over 3 million users a month in only 3 years, you're going to really like that section because Joel dishes out some of his best information, and I input some of that on what I learned through making MenProvement.com. Then we talk for about 40 minutes, which is one of the best talks that I've ever had on the show so far, about success, and I think that you're going to get a lot out of it. So definitely stick around in this episode till the end and enjoy it, because this is definitely one of my favorite interviews, and it's almost borderline life-changing. So without further ado, we'll jump right into the interview. This is Joel Brown from AddictedToSuccess.com. What's up, Joel? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, man. I'm really excited to have you on here because I personally am, I would say, addicted to success. Like, it's funny. And I'm more so addicted to learning about success and the science of success. I think every night I'm watching and listening to new YouTube videos from speakers like Wayne Dyer and people to get ideas that I haven't heard yet on how I can accelerate my own success. So having you on here is a pleasure, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on board. And, you know, people like Wayne Dyer and, you know, there's so much advice out there on YouTube. So there's no reason why you can't learn more about success. There's so much at our fingertips now. So, yeah, you're taking advantage of it. So you're doing good. Good on you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I 100% believe that success is a skill. You know, obviously there's things that you can do that other people aren't doing. And the more you learn and the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit. And then you just become, you know, successful by nature. And that's what I kind of want to kickstart for people listening today who may or may not be happy with their lives or happy with their jobs, and they just really don't know where to start. I want to give you guys a complete foundation on where to start to get success like Joel has, and, you know, beyond the kind of journey that I am while learning. So why don't you tell us, Joel, you know, you're a blogger, an entrepreneur. That's all I really know. What would you describe yourself as a profession?
I'd say I'm more of like a life enthusiast, to be honest. Like I'm very passionate about helping other people to be able to, you know, lead their 9 to 5, to live life on their own terms, to experience freedom, you know, freedom like I have. I feel that, you know, a lot of people want success. They just don't know how to go about it, or they just don't know what's out there. So I kind of feel like it's my purpose to expose new opportunities and really show people where the vehicles are that are able to get them to, you know, their end goal, or to their freedom, or to that bigger project or bigger vision that they have.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Life enthusiast. I like that. I may have to steal that from you at some point. But yeah, I'm the same way. I would consider myself like a self-improvement enthusiast and trying to open up new areas for people to improve their life. So I get you on that, man. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. How'd you get started with addictedtosuccess.com? You know, start from the beginning.
So I actually used to work in a sales job in a corporate. I used to sell fiber internet connections out in Perth in Western Australia. And we actually had a workshop. This would have been probably around about 3.5 years ago. We had a workshop with Jordan Belfort, who is the Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if you heard of him. You've seen the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and all that?
I have, man. Pretty wild movie. That's awesome.
So it was based off him, who is the original Wolf of Wall Street. And, he had a pretty crazy life. He is a great salesman. You can't take that away from him. He's very good at what he does. And he actually goes in and he actually coaches a lot of Fortune 500 companies and shows them how to improve their sales. Teaches them how to communicate better, and build connections, build rapport, and develop, new networks. So for me, I was at a point in my life where I didn't really know too much of what I wanted to do. I knew that I loved to read, your Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki. I was reading Donald Trump's books and so on. So I was really interested in success and or the idea of success and entrepreneurship. And when we had this workshop with Jordan, he sat us down and he talked about having a bigger vision. So basically writing down our vision, of like each day, each week, each month, each year, how we're going to get to that end goal or that bigger vision. And he kind of opened my mind up to thinking in a new way, not just like little goals here and there, because goals, when you say kind of setting goals, they're like small achievements. He's thinking more on a bigger scale. And he kind of made me open my mind up a lot, asked me what I'm passionate about, got me to kind of dig a lot deeper. And that's where I kind of birthed the idea of Addicted to Success. And I think originally, to be honest, I was motivated a lot more by the idea of making money online. And, I was able to achieve that within the first year and a half. I was able to leave my day job. But I've definitely matured and grown with it as the blog has grown, as the website's grown. It's I have a lot of people now that contact me and say that I've inspired them to leave their dead end job, or I've inspired them to start up a new company, and now that it's $1 million company. People in third world countries that are now finding ways to make extra income to be able to support their family, like things like that. So I started to realize that it was a lot bigger than myself. And it's a lot more than just making money. So that's where we are today. And now I actually set like a pretty strong commitment to be able to, by 2017, set free more than 100 people from their day jobs and to be able to create a way that they can have like a freedom living lifestyle and have more impact in the world.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and I was going to ask you about that. What are you doing? What is that?
Yeah, so basically, I align myself with anything that I believe is a strong enough residual income model, and also is something that is helping others. So, I mean, with Addicted to Success, I coach people on how to make money online, but we also keep an aspect of like, what are you doing each day to help others? Because you need to be inspiring others, you need to be giving back in some way. It needs to be some form of contribution. I also dabble in like the network marketing industry as well. What's funny is like a lot of people have a common misconception about it, and they say, pyramid scheme and this and that. Pyramid schemes aren't around anymore. A lot of people that say they're either ignorant or somebody that's like generations older than them. So the network marketing industry has definitely developed, over time. And there are a lot of great companies out there that is allowing people to make awesome residual incomes, to be able to share things with others, to help, others in the economy. But you just need to find the right company. And I have a look into a lot of the different compensation plans. I work out what works for people and introduce them to better options. So for me, it's really, like I said, exposing great opportunities to people and showing them a vehicle and how they can actually achieve success.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. And I want to jump back because I like how you said that initially you started this for money, and then you kind of shifted to realizing that it's a lot bigger than yourself. And I think you probably achieved success in the long run because you switched to really wanting to change the world and help people. And I was the same way when I started MenProvement.com just about a year ago. It was because I was working as a mechanical engineer and I hated it. And my drive was essentially to build online income so I can do whatever I want. But now I love the emails I get from people. I love helping people. And I've learned along the way that no matter what you're doing, if you're interested in starting a website or whatever you're doing, if you're focusing solely on making money, it makes it so much harder. But if you're focusing on providing value to people and you could find a way to provide true value to people, then the money is just going to flow to you effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, this is a way to look at it, right? Like if you measure your success by money, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
But if you're measuring it by impact or measuring it on how many people you're inspiring or helping, it's like an endless thing, but it has a lot more return. It really does. Like I know money can get you a lot of things, but at the end of the day, like we're all trying to achieve some form of happiness. And if you're contributing and you feel like you have some sort of value that you can give to the world, that's true currency right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. So I think a lot of people that may find this episode or listen to this episode may be like myself interested in hearing how you built Addicted to Success to be such a great blog. So before we jump into all the success techniques and life, we'll go through for 10 minutes about how you built your website to be such the powerhouse that it is today. So, I mean, I know what it's like getting started and it could be slow. How was it at the beginning? How long did it take before you started getting, serious traffic, like 1,000 visitors a day?
Yeah, so I'd say 1,000 visitors a day. I probably hit that in maybe the 2-month mark.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you. I worked my ass off though. Like I knew that I needed to have content on my site. I knew that I needed to be posting like 2 or 3 posts a day consistently and just keep hammering it out for at least the first month or two. So that way I had enough content, because the thing is you can't go and promote your website, like a week in with only like 10 articles, because you know what? Some people come, they might like 2 of the articles, they'll have a quick look around, but if you don't have any more or wide enough selection, they'll leave your site and they might never come back. So I understood that, you need to have a good amount of content first, so that way when people come, they stick. They stay there a little bit longer. They'll check out more articles. There's more chance they're going to share your articles. And and I think that's the key. Like I know a lot of people that say, "Hey Joel, check out my blog. I don't know why I'm not getting traffic." I'm like, "You got 5 articles, dude."
Yeah, no.
Like it's not going to get you too far. So yeah, I think some people just think that they can have it easy or it's going to happen quickly, and that's just not how it is. There's no real shortcuts to success.
Yeah, there isn't, and especially with blogging. I like how you said that you wanted it to be pretty much filled with content before you promoted it. And I think that's smart before you send it out to the world. You don't want to send it out to people and then have their eyes go on your site and it's a shitty design. There's 3 posts. I had the same dilemma, but in a much bigger scale, because I really want MenProvement to be kind of like a hub with like a men's website directory and, just linking out to everywhere. So I still don't think my site is what it's going to be yet. So I'm almost like reluctant to market it until it is that. So I kind of kill myself on the back end, and I'm not, I kind of get lost on the front end. But I agree with that. That's a great tip. And I'm amazed at how many social media followers you have, particularly Facebook. I think it's 222,000 right now. And I struggle with getting this. I probably get about 5 to 10 a day. I think men on a whole aren't really interested in social media as much. But how'd you get such a big following on social media?
What are you at the moment? What's your number?
6,000 and something. Okay. 6,518, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Look, it will start picking up. Like the more you have, the more chances are that it's going to double and triple in the amount of followers that come through every day. The reason being is because it's a lot of mine, I guess, is from reshares. So you have people that love success, love motivation, inspiration. They like your page. Then they see like a quote or they see like an article that you put up. They share that then goes out to their audience who, you'd think not all, but a lot of the people that they have in their friends list will be pretty like-minded to them. So that way it brings more people back to Addicted to Success. So it's, I guess at the end of the day, it's about encouraging sharing, encouraging engagement. So at the start, I really was like on top of my community, asking them like, hey, do you mind sharing this with your friends? If you really love this article, please share it. You've got to be upfront. You've got to be asking people for those kind of favors. You're giving people content, valuable content for free, right? So ask for something in return. Reciprocity. That's just how it works, right? You don't have to do it all the time. There's an elegant way that you can do it, but it's just kind of like teaching your community that like it'd be cool if they could support you and share that out. And that's how you grow. Over a stretch of time, you're going to see a pretty substantial amount of growth.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you didn't do any crazy advertising or anything. You just, you essentially, you reached out to your viewers and asked them to share, which is something I definitely don't do.
Yeah. I've never done Facebook advertising for Addicted to Success. Never.
Yeah, you don't need it. So.
I just don't go that route. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's something definitely to think about. And I think you mentioned before it took you about a year and a half before you could quit your day job. Was there ever a time between then where you were like, I don't know if this is going to work, and you felt like stepping away from it?
No. I mean, I didn't hate my day job. Like, my boss was great. My manager was great. I did kind of look around the room and see a lot of people that had been there for like 15, 20 years, and they'd only have like maybe a salary that was 10% or 20% more than mine. I kind of looked and thought, man, I can't settle for this. But for me, it was more like I could see other people were achieving success online. A guy called Yaro Starik. There's also John Chow. Pete Cashmore from Mashable was like a huge inspiration to me. Guy was young like me at the time when I started, and he was, pulling in 20 million views a month, 30 million. I think they're probably double that now. So for me, if I see somebody else has been able to achieve it, there's no excuse and there's no reason why you can't either. And that's what's kind of been ingrained in me from a young age. That's just how it is. And I think, I was raised by good parents who supported me in anything I wanted to do and told me that, if that person can achieve that success, you can do that too. You could probably even do better, So I think that's a huge thing, and you've got to believe it. You seriously got to believe it. And when you do, when it becomes a part of you, that's when you can achieve massive success.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. That was part of what drove me to get into the online world, just because I've always been a follower of, your site and a lot of other sites. And, I saw how much money people were making and how successful they were. And I knew that if I could go out there and create something unique and do it right, I could definitely emulate it. And one thing that I'm getting into now is I'm getting big on the content marketing. Creating epic content is great. That's probably the best thing you could do. But if no one sees it, it's kind of a waste. What do you do in terms of, getting your articles out there?
For me, it's more so promoting it through social media channels, and also I pump it back out to my mailing list. So I never used to be big on my mailing list, but as it's growing, I've actually seen that it can be super effective, especially with return visits. And you have, like, all you really need is that, like, 10,000 really loyal fans.
Yeah.
I was actually interviewing a guy by the name of Yaro a couple of days back, and he was telling me this too. Like, he runs a successful blog, and he sells digital products and things like that. And he just said, like, if you've got those 10,000 really loyal fans, that's all you really need to have, like, a fairly sustainable income, and even to be able to provide great value, because those people are going to share that with other people too. So I think that's something that you need to focus on, is build a community feeling around your website, your blog, your video channel, whatever you're doing. Create a community feel around it so that people, know that they can support you, and that you're going to be putting out good quality content, and they want to be there with you and to share that as well.
Yeah, great advice, man. And I guess to inspire some people who are listening, thinking about starting a blog. You've been around for 3 years, pretty much.
Yeah, 3.5 years now.
I know you do a bunch of stuff, but how much is Addicted to Success worth right now? How much is it making, essentially?
So it's been valued at over $1 million. So I've been offered $1 million, 1.2 million, by about 3 different people now. And I actually turned it down. So for me, I turned that offer down because I feel that there's a lot more room to grow, and I have like a lot in store for Addicted to Success. So that's a value. I'm making over 6 figures, going for multiple 6 figures, even 7 figures, down the road. So there's a lot that's possible. And you're about to see us step everything up to a whole new level with Addicted to Success.
That's incredible, man. So you turned down, I understand that. I mean, what's $1 million when you're making 6 figures plus every year? $1 million is not going to last in this world that we live in now. I mean,
look, man, I can't lie. Like, it was really tempting, to be honest. I even had thoughts of doing it. But yeah, lucky I have my fiance there. That's like, baby, this is your baby. This is what you created. This is like, all those dreams, those visions, everything that you've had for it. You can like breathe life into that. It can happen. And, it's good to have someone there that sees it from an outside perspective as well, because you can kind of get distracted by the shiny things and the glitz and glamour. So, I'm happy that, she reminded me of that. And also I started to see it a lot more too. So, yeah, it's, but like you said, $1 million. I don't know, like in Australia, that's like, you could get a house like that's considered to be pretty good, but it's not like top house in a great location. And then, once you bought that, that's it. You've got to start from ground zero.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could definitely live off, retire to Thailand or something for the rest of your life. I don't think you want to do that yet. At
No, thanks, man. I get bored.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, like you said, it's your baby. It's you. I think it probably defines you by now. Obviously, it's, a part of you. To sell it just for money, you probably feel a little bit empty after that. But all right, that's awesome, man, and congratulations on your success. I hope to be in the same spot in 2 years from now.
I'm sure you will.
So let's jump into the main topic and talk about success and how people can achieve it. How would you define success?
So my definition of success is to live life on your own terms. It's funny. I interview a lot of people that I ask this question, right? I ask, like, what does success mean to you? Everyone has a different answer. Mm-hmm. It's subjective, right? At the end of the day, everyone sees it in a different way. It depends what your needs are. It depends what you want to experience in your life, how experienced you really are. For some people, it's a lot of money. For some people, it's to live comfortable. Tony Robbins says it like in the best way possible, or in a way that really resonates with me, because I've been trying to say it in this way, but I'm just going to use Tony's way of saying it. And it's basically when you can live your life with the most amount of pleasure with the smallest amount of pain as possible. Like, that's success. Because we're always going to have pain. That's always going to be there in some sense. It'll happen at some point in your life. You have your ups and your downs, but it's like living with as much consistent pleasure as you can in your life, and also being able to share that with others and encourage that in others.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I lean towards, when I think about it, essentially being content with your life and happy and with what you've created. And it might have nothing to do with money at all, but just whatever your goals are, whatever you want, just being at that level of fulfillment in your life, to me, is success. So yeah, it's not about money, and it could be about money for some people, and it's subjective, and you can have small successes in different things and total success. But that's cool, man. And
it's about impact as well, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you got the money to be able to change thousands of people's lives in like an African village or in Southeast Asia and build an orphanage and things like that, I mean, that's success.
Yeah. Do you ever plan on doing stuff like that?
100%. Yes. Yeah. My fiance and I are working on something for our longer term vision. We're planning. So I don't want to put too much out there, but yeah, we want to have massive impact in a specific area in the world. So we're working on that. That's our bigger vision.
Yeah, man, I have that big vision as well. Like giving back tenfold, enjoying my life as much as I can, and not, not feeling guilty about enjoying the pleasures of life while there are, terrible things going on in other countries, but then giving back. And there's no, like I love the saying that, a sick doctor. I think it is important to take care of yourself, and
that is so true.
The happier and more successful you are, the more you can give back and help people. So don't feel guilty 100%. About success.
Yep. But you got it, man.
Yeah, use it as fuel. So if addicted to success, God forbid, the internet kind of went down and it got wiped off the face of the earth and you had to start from scratch, what would be your first course of action?
I'll go to the network marketing industry, to be honest. I would do that because I know how many people can actually help. And I love the whole idea of like leadership. I'm reading John C. Maxwell's book at the moment called The 5 Levels of Leadership. Mm-hmm. And I find that when you're in that role of like, helping others or showing others opportunities and helping to develop teams and things like that, like, you're a leader, or you have to step up as a leader. Otherwise, you're not going to perform. They're not going to perform. And I like the idea of that. It's challenging for me. And I also know that there's a way that you can actually achieve success quite quickly. And, you can have a lot of impact in people's lives. So it just, like I said, depends on the company. You need to have the right company. There's a lot out there, but yeah, find something that's going to be able to create, great impact in the world.
Yeah. And what would you suggest to the millions of guys out there who, they may be working a corporate job and be a little bit unfulfilled, but they just don't know what they want to do with their life?
Yeah, I'd say, read up on a lot of material in the way of like, start studying areas that you're passionate about. Start researching and trying to understand like what opportunities out there. Because like I said earlier, everybody wants success. They just don't know how to kind of get it. Mm-hmm. So you need to find the sites like Addicted to Success. You need to listen to MenProvement. You need to listen to podcasts. But find ones where people are talking about certain industries that you may have an interest in. So that way you know what to kind of expect, because I think that a lot of people can float a lot in life, or they give something a shot and it's not what they expected, so they pull out. I know a lot of people, man, that have like, this is the common misconception that you can only have one passion in your life, and it's not true. Like, you can have multiple passions. I have multiple passions. I used to work in the music industry. I used to love music. I left the industry. I used to work in sales. I don't love that anymore. I'm working online. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, you need to really, before you commit to anything, really go out there and listen to some of the people that have kind of paved the way or have been in that situation. And then when you do decide that, yes, this is something that I feel that I can definitely achieve, then 100% commit to it.
Yeah, definitely. And when you do find what you're passionate about and you really think you want to do, I think it's really important. I was telling this to my friend yesterday. He's working a great job in New York City, but he's just not happy and he doesn't know where he wants to go. I told him it's the most important thing that you can do right now is to figure out where you want to go, because if you're living your life without a GPS coordination set in your mental navigation, that's how you end up, 30 years old and you're like, how did I get here? So what I always tell people is the first step is to really find your passion, like you said. Maybe go out there, listen to people talking about it, go on websites, and then define what you like, who you want to be. I would write down in a couple paragraphs like the exact version of yourself that you would like to be in 5 years. I think that's just setting that first goal is just the catalyst to everything else.
That's right, yeah. And I think the thing is as well, a lot of people, like, I get them to sit down, right? I get them to write out what are your top 3 core values in your life. And like wisdom, wealth, compassion. Like, what are your kind of values? Like, what do you hold close to you? What do you feel you want people to see you as? Like, what type of person? What are you happy about in your life? what are your greatest achievements? What are some weaknesses you have that you can definitely work on and improve on in the next like 6 to 12 months? Things like that, write it really out. And the thing is, like, a lot of people have never written that. A lot of people don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, if you want to master the art of, let's say, communication or working with other people or having success in the industries, at the end of the day, once you learn who you are, a lot of humans are pretty much all the same, right? We're just on different kind of levels. But if you can understand yourself as much as you can, that's when you can easily understand others and the world starts to work in your favor. So really, it all comes from personal development and self-growth.
Yeah,
it
man.
really does. Every day I'm personal developing. Like I'm still listening to audio. Like even Tony Robbins, man, like T. Harv Eker, those guys are still listening to other speakers. They're still got audio tapes playing in their car. They're continuously learning new things. You have to.
Yeah, that's my life essentially, man. I love that because I'm the same exact way. It's just there's always stuff you can learn. It's fascinating to me how I'll learn something for months and months, and then I'll find something else and I'll be like, wow, this just expands on it. And the more you immerse yourself in it, the more it just becomes a part of you. So that's cool.
That's right.
That's cool that you say that, that you and all those guys, they still listen to other people and everything and podcasts, because I'm the same way. It's interesting. And goal setting, you spoke earlier about Jordan Belfort saying don't just set goals, but set a vision. And I really like that. Yeah.
So for me, it's I have like a whiteboard. I write everything down on my whiteboard, and it's there. I can see it every day. I can see what's going on. I set reminders in my phone, keep me on track with what I'm doing. And what I do is I actually have on my whiteboard, there's 2 sections. It's split in half. There's one section which is short-term vision, right? Things that I can achieve within the next 3 to 6 months. And then I've got the long-term vision, which is like either like in the next year or like 5 years. And that's the big vision right there. But it all leads up to that big vision. If you're just running for the next 5 years trying to hit that big vision, you're probably going to find that you're not going to be too happy with everything. Like you need to have small achievements along the way, and you need to celebrate those achievements. Don't celebrate too long. Don't go out and get maggot like drunk, and go crazy and whatever. Just do a little happy dance. Do whatever you need to do. Announce it. Go out for dinner. Like have a couple drinks. Whatever you need to do, right? To appreciate the fact that you've achieved this smaller short-term vision and this success. It makes the journey so much better, because it is about the journey at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's funny. I also have a whiteboard on my wall with pretty much the exact same thing that you just described. My January 1st goals for next year. And then I've got a piece of paper where it's filled up with the person that I, see myself as. And I've got my 2016 goals on a piece of paper, and I read it every day. And it's so,
nice.
It's an affirmation essentially, but I find that so powerful. That's funny.
Awesome.
What, I'm a big advocate of your morning routine, because I think, like Drew Canole says, it's like how you start your day is how you start your life. Do you have a special morning routine that you do every day?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm actually staying out in Manhattan Beach in LA in California. And we're only like a street back from the beach right now. So every morning, my fiance and I, we go out to the beach. We kind of sit down, we read, maybe like a chapter of a book. And then we either meditate on the beach for like 20 minutes. I do transcendental meditation, so TM meditation. Mm-hmm. And either do that on the beach or go back to the house and meditate there. And then what I do is I then go over like what I'm doing for the day, my tasks and everything. And then I make sure that I have, my vitamins, my supplements, my shakes, whatever I need to put into my body to nourish my body. And just drink lots of water and get into the day. I might even go to the gym as well, go to the gym, get that exercise and the whole, get your blood pumping and the activities going, and then come in. And that way I don't have anything else that's kind of like leisurely or exercise to think about, and I can get straight to business.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love that. That's funny. And that's cool that your fiance will sit there and do meditation with you, because I also meditate every morning, but most people I know, and women and girls, would be like, what the hell are you talking about meditation? You know, like, so I'll find that one, you know, but, yeah, it's crazy.
Good,
like,
I'm very lucky to have something like she got me into meditation. So, I wouldn't be doing it without her. So
yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah, it's good.
Powerful stuff. But yeah, through my study of successful people and like listening to pretty much everyone I listen to will say that same thing, that they have a morning routine like that. They meditate, they do this stuff. And when people, you know, average guys are not happy in their life, there's a huge chance that they're not doing any of these things. That's been one of the biggest things that's changed my life, was waking up every morning. Like you said, I have a huge glass of water immediately. I'll do alternate nostril breathing for 5 minutes, and then I'll do actually an NLP pattern breaking technique that I learned, which like eliminates negative thoughts and like just clears your head for the day. I'll talk about that in another podcast. And then
awesome. Yeah. NLP is awesome, man. I studied with Richard Bandler in London for like a week, a couple years back.
Yeah,
he's the co-founder of NLP, and yeah, it's very interesting, very powerful stuff if you know how to do it properly. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I had an anxiety disorder, and I used cure myself. So now I use them to just eliminate any negative thoughts that you can have in life, and like fears and anything like that. And yeah, and then I meditate, and then I start my day, and it just makes all the difference in the world. I think don't wake up and look at your emails 5 minutes after waking up. It's toxic.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
And to learn, you know, we'll talk more about how to do meditation and all that in other podcasts, but I definitely think you should think about, everyone listening should think about, you know, finding what you like to do in the morning, what works for you, what works for Joel and me are different. And then just incorporate a morning routine and stick to it for 30 days, because that's how long it takes to pretty much create a habit. And eventually it'll just become something you have to do, and it will really help. So I like that, man. That's cool. Do you do visualization or anything else differently?
I think like unconsciously, I'm constantly visualizing things. I'm a very visual type of person anyway. Mm-hmm. So for me, throughout the day, like I visualize ideas, I visualize concepts, whatever, right? Like I visualize a lot already. I know that some people that aren't so visual, they need to kind of set that time aside to focus on visualizing. Yeah, I think it just kind of comes naturally for me. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely,
it just happens.
It's definitely powerful. Yeah, I try to do it every day. It's one of those things that's easy to forget about. But like I said, just talking about this it's easy to say it, but I want to be able to explain it to people. So I think one of the upcoming podcasts I'll just talk about meditation, visualization, and a whole bunch of exercises and techniques that you can learn and use, so you don't have to feel kind of in the dark about it. Do you believe in the law of attraction?
If you're talking about The Secret, I think, I mean, if you're talking about kind of like The Secret, right?
I believe, The Secret, it's pretty much coined from the movie The Secret, but it goes, you know, a lot deeper than just the movie in not like in a mystical, like if I just picture this, it's gonna, you know, just appear, but kind of in a, like, do you believe in like the laws of the universe and things like, you know, that what you think you become?
Yeah, I mean, yes, what you think you become, because what you think is what you put into action. And it's also about the people that you surround yourself with. That's a huge thing. I kind of don't agree with it 100%, and the reason being is because I feel that a lot of the guys that are interviewed on that it's easy for them to say that they attracted it into their life because they have achieved success. Whereas, like, let's say like some kid that's walking along on the street that ends up being involved in some sort of a drive-by and gets shot down or something, like, did he manifest that?
I've always
you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm a little bit, that's why I'm not 100% there. I know some of the guys that are involved in it. You know, you got your Jack Canfields, you got John Assaraf and that, and like those guys are super successful. They're great at what they do. They're super amazing individuals. But I just can't 100% like align myself with that, the whole vision and the message. But I know that, but yeah, if you're surrounding yourself with good people, and you're also kind of, let's say, putting it out there that this is what you want, we all run on energies and we all run on vibes, and people can read very well unconsciously, like without even knowing it, can read off each other. So yeah, if you're like, I'm going to be a positive person, I'm going to do this, I want to meet positive people, blah, 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 your energy levels are going to change. That's just how it works. Like neurologically, that's going to happen for you. You're going to start moving with more emotion. You're going to start being more of a positive individual. You're going to attract more positive people in your life, because people attract like-minded people. Like, it's just going to be like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to attract somebody that is like super depressed and like hates life or is all negative and all that, because that's not me. Like, I don't want to live my life like that. So I'm probably not going to attract someone like that into my life. So yes, it to a certain extent, yes, it is very important to actually be conscious of what you want in your life, and then putting that out there in the way of like how you act, what you think about, and who you align yourself with.
Yeah, man. I 100% agree on that. It's definitely taboo in the negative sense when, yeah, like you said, like these freak accidents happening to people. Like, did they create their own reality? I don't agree with that, and it's tough. It's tough to even think about. But I almost swear by it at times, in the sense that what you said, what you think about, you attract into your life. And like, I know I have people I know who are very negative, and all they do is complain, and that's what they get back all the time. And for me, I try to eliminate, if you can eliminate all your negative thoughts, and you can truly believe like that you're going to achieve your goal, I think that's where the law of attraction can be very powerful, in the sense that you hold that feeling of belief, like that you're going to succeed, and that's all you think about. You don't let doubt into your mind. I think it's definitely going to help, and like you said, attract that kind of stuff into your life. And at a scientific level, I know that at any given time in your life, your brain is being bombarded by 128 billion bits of sensory information from the outside world. But your brain actually only has the ability to take in 128 bits at one time. So I truly believe that it's, I know guys on the site that they write all the time, oh, women will never, you can't approach women. They're horrible people. They're horrible people. And I tell them, well, it's because you think this, that your brain also has a tendency to focus in on what you believe and to affirm and confirm your beliefs. It just naturally will always do that. It will confirm your beliefs. And the fact that it can only take in such a small amount of everything that's going around you, you're going to focus in on what you believe, and you're going to see that when there could be other information out there that will give you the total opposite effect. So I totally believe that you should shape your beliefs to be positive
100%.
And that you're a beautiful person, that you can do anything, and you're going to start finding that in your life, because your brain will enforce your beliefs. So I believe in it in a universal and scientific sense, but it has some things, like you said, where it's not just cut and dry, but it can't hurt to think positive, right? And it can't hurt to visualize and believe. So why not?
Yeah, I had to go a little controversial with that one. Sorry, man.
No, it's really good that you brought that up, because I always think about that when I watch these lectures and tapes, and when people say that, people who get sick, they attract that into your life somehow. And like, I know my mother was sick, and it's like, I'm not going to sit here and believe that my mom attracted that into her life,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But
she's okay now. And,
yeah, there's a lot of factors that can be taken into account at the end of the day. That's true. Very true.
Okay. Yeah. So is there anything else that you would say you do differently than the next guy?
That I do differently? I think I don't know. When I think about it, I mean, everyone's different, right? For me, I feel that I compete with myself a lot. Like, I look at kind of what I'm doing, and each day I'm like, how can I do better? I am, in a sense, addicted to success. Because I'm always trying to outdo myself. And the thing is, it's not about outdoing somebody else, because we have no control over the outside of ourselves. We have no control over competition. We're only competing with ourselves at the end of the day. So for me, I have this thing where I'm always like challenging myself. Am I self-improving? Am I learning more? Am I giving back? Am I having impact? So on and so on. Another thing as well is that when I believe that somebody is passing on a great opportunity, or they're passing on making an awesome change in their life, I can't come to the fact that they're just giving in on that. And I even tell them as well, I'm like, I'm not going to kind of give up on you, because I know that like you're this close and this is going to be a positive thing. So for me, I know that a lot of people don't, when they talk with someone, they don't follow up a lot. For me, I like to follow up and make sure that that person has made the right decision. I think a lot of people don't do that. It kind of comes from the sense of like sales as well. When I used to work in sales, I think even like online sales, if you're trying to sell digital products or whatever, right? Most people, well, you're looking at 2% of people will usually buy on the first exposure. Then it kind of goes up after that. So the second exposure, like 6% of people, third exposure, 12%. It ends up being like 80% of people will buy something or buy into something or accept something after like the seventh exposure. Mm. So yeah, for me, when you look at that, it's like, it's good. This is why it's good to be consistent with things, especially when you believe in it. And with me, it transcends into like what I do with Addicted to Success. I was consistent with it because I believed that it was good knowledge that could be shared with others, and it's going to inspire other people. Even when I was getting 1,000 views and now going, to like 20 million, 30 million views a month. It's 2 million to 3 million views a month.
I was going to say, I was like, is that where you're at? That's crazy.
20 to 30 million views a year. I knew that that's because I needed to be consistent. And that goes for you too, man. You got to be consistent, and consistent with your podcast, consistent with your content on your blog, and so on and so on. So, just understanding that you need to be consistent. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, man. One of my favorite quotes is, "Baby steps will take you to the top of Mount Everest as long as you keep taking them."
Yeah, that's right. You get it.
And I love that. Yeah, being consistent. I'm pretty religious about that as well. And yeah, just take a step every day towards your goal, even if it's really small. Just take one step and just keep building those steps up. Cool, man. So, did you ever have any mentors when you were starting up?
No, not when I was starting out. My mentors were the books I was reading, and the interviews I'd listened to. Mm-hmm. That was really my mentors. I have a mentor now, who is a great guy. His name's David Wood. He basically trains coaches. He owns like a private island with Jack Canfield, and he owns like shopping centers, and he's all into real estate, and he trains a lot of people around the world. He's kind of like the next generation's Tony Robbins. He's a great guy. He from Canada, and yeah, he really took me under his wing, and he's shown me the steps in the way of presenting myself on stage. I had my first keynote in Malaysia at Mind Valley, and I was talking in front of like 300 people, and he showed me a great template, a great way to present to others. And he's been a big supporter of me, and he loves what I do in Addicted to Success. And we're working very closely, in the near future on things. And it's cool when you have someone that really believes in you and sees, greatness in you and tells you that, because I think some people do see greatness in you, but they don't tell you. That's why it's important for you to do that to others. You should tell others that you see greatness in them. You should, you never know who you're inspiring. That's why you need to like watch what you're doing, man. Make sure you're doing the right thing, and you never know who you're inspiring. Yeah,
and that also goes back to, a sense of the law of attraction. Is like, if you see greatness and you see beauty in everything around you, that's what you're gonna get back. I truly believe that.
Yeah, keep an open mind and keep an open heart. Right.
Yeah, you made the point that I wanted to bring up about mentors right away. Is that like, you're the same with me? Is that when I'm starting out, and was starting out, and still am pretty much in the middle of starting out, my mentors are the podcast I'm listening to. Like, you were one of my mentors and you didn't even know it. Like you can have all these mentors now because of technology at your fingertips. So everyone talks about how important mentors are, but it's hard to find one. But you can have a mentor simply by putting YouTube on and finding one. And I think that's really cool. Now, I like another concept that I love is the concept of the long game, which a lot of people don't know about. Are you familiar with this phrase?
No, to be honest, I'm not. What is the long game?
Well, I watched a video that a friend of mine actually sent me. He was one of the contributors to MenProvement. And it was all about Leonardo da Vinci and how he, is now known as a genius and essentially a brilliant man. But that's all really people talk about. And what people don't talk about is the 10 years of failure that he had and that he went through, his apprenticeship per se. And then it goes in and talks about, all these famous people like Marie Curie and all these famous physicists and neurosurgeons. And it talks about how they were interns for like 4 years and no one even knew their name. And for 6 years, they got rejected from this and rejected from that. But all people know is that, wow, these people are incredibly successful, like Da Vinci. No one knows all the failures and all the stuff that he went through.
Yeah.
And it's easy when people talk about success in the media and things, nobody talks about the long game and the 5 to 10, like 2 to 10 years that people went through busting their ass to get where they are. So a lot of people have unrealistic expectations and they do stuff for 3 to 4 months and they don't achieve success and they just want to quit.
Yeah. No, well, this is the thing, right? They see the glory, but they don't see the story.
Yeah.
They see all the great things that happen, but they didn't see like how that person really got there. It's like the whole overnight success thing. Like it took me 20 years to have an overnight success.
That's exactly what the long game is. Yeah. So I think it's an awesome thing to have a grasp on is whatever you're starting in, be prepared to play the long game and be prepared to give 1 to 3 years as an apprenticeship of just learning and growing before you're that success. Before you're where Joel is, because it doesn't happen overnight and you have to do it every day consistently and you got to play the long game. I love that phrase. And there's a great video and I'll link to it in the show notes that I'm talking about. And it just really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff because we're programmed to want things now, with text messaging and like the internet. We want something and we want it like right now. It doesn't work like that with success. Not usually. And if it does, it's usually short lived, like get rich schemes and stuff.
Yeah, you got it. That's right.
So, well, pretty much wrapping it up here. What are your thoughts on failure?
Thoughts on failure? I love failure.
Yeah.
Man, the more you fail, the more you win.
Absolutely.
I failed. It's funny because someone asked me not long ago. I think it was in another podcast or another interview, and they asked me like, "How many times have you failed?" And I actually sat there for a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I before you asked me that question, I think that maybe I only failed once or twice. But if I had to actually really sit down and think about it, I probably failed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's just that I don't look at the failures as failures. I look at them as lessons. I look at them as, little reminders that, okay, nothing's perfect in this world. And I love the hurdles because I know that if I can get over this hurdle, I'm the other person that just decided to give up. I'm going to be that much ahead of someone else. So yeah, I love it, man. I love failures. Like, you've got to do it, right? It makes you a bigger and better, stronger person. It, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and so on and so on. So yeah, embrace the failures, man, and turn them into, lessons that one day you're going to talk about. Definitely, man. Yeah. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to fail, because that's where you learn everything. I love that. And this isn't my first website. My first website sucked and it failed. But, I learned about WordPress. I learned everything I need to know to start fresh, and start a good website. Was Addicted to Your Success to like the first thing you started when you started a website? No, actually, I started a website called stadiummusic.net, and I was all into hip hop, and I used to sell mixtape CDs of like all my favorite hip hop artists, and I had like exclusive hip hop tracks because I used to work on a radio station and used to play exclusive music, and Yeah, that site I was selling mixtapes, but what I was doing was I was in Australia and I was ordering them from America, and then they'd arrive in Australia, and then I get an order and I'd have to send it back out to America. I was like 14 years old, and I was like, I just didn't get how you can actually, maybe have it sent from the location in America to an American. I was trying to work it all out by myself.
But that's impressive. You were 14 years old doing that. So, I was probably climbing trees somewhere.
But what's funny, right? Like when I look at that, I look at it going like, damn, if I kept that domain name or if I kept that going, like imagine how huge that site would be now.
Yeah.
If I just developed it into something.
Yeah.
But you know what, man, that's how it is. That's life, right? Like you got to have those little experiments. I think, when you look at a lot of successful people in life, like your Elon Musk, Albert Einstein, Richard Branson, like these guys are passionately curious. That's all they are. They're passionately curious people. Mm-hmm. And you just can't stop them from like wanting to learn something new, wanting to step out and go into that, like voyage into another industry or another area. And that's why they're so successful. They have thousands of failures, but they also have hundreds of successes. And that's the price that you pay at the end of the day if you want to be super successful.
Yeah, I saw an interesting infographic that showed like the top 5 entrepreneurs who are self-made and how many businesses they actually had before they have their main one now, and it was like 15 to 30 businesses each. I think that's one of the best success tips that I know, and I think it's the most important is to start somewhere, because you could have a great idea, you could want to do something, and if you think about it and think about it and think about it, and 6 months goes by, you could have started a shitty website or anything and just start somewhere, start learning, contacting people who've done it. And that first website and that first venture is pretty much likely to fail. That's just how it works. And through that, you're going to learn. But if you never start and you never have that first failure or those first couple failures, then you'll never get to what really hits it for you.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm getting closer and closer to that feeling of, or even the belief of like, look, man, ready, fire, aim. Not ready, aim, fire, ready, fire, aim, and just get out there and do it. Yeah. Most things that you're like scared of, or you think, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. You just got to give it a shot, man. Give it a shot. Put it out there and see how you go. And do it like quickly. Go out and do it. If it's going to work, it's going to work, right? Mm-hmm. Get good at improvising. I think that's something that a lot of successful people do, is they get really good at improvising and running off the cuff. So if something happens, they know how to solve that or move in a way where it's a great solution for whatever's thrown at them. So that's definitely a skill that you want to acquire as you climb in the success ladder.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you think is the main thing holding most guys back, and to me, I think that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, you got it.
Is there anything else you think?
What's holding most people back, man, is the annoying negative thoughts in the back of their mind. It's that thing saying that, you can't achieve this. No, that's not for you. You've never tried that before. Yeah. Your mind is always going to try and resort back to the comfortable zone or the comfort area. There's a thing called a RAS, like reticular activator system. And there's a wicked video you can watch on YouTube. I can't remember the actual name of it, but type in RAS, like RAS, and they talk about the amygdala and all the other things. And basically it's like when a guy's about to make a decision, he starts denying, his mind tries to take over, the RAS takes over and tries to basically deny him of having, a nice car or to be able to travel or to leave his day job and things like that. And your mind automatically tries to do that and put you back in the comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out, man. And I'll link to it in the show notes because I love that. And the NLP technique that I do for disrupting negative thoughts is all about the amygdala, because the amygdala is it controls fear and is what sends the negative thoughts and the fearful thoughts. And if you can learn to break them and not consciously accept them, that's what this technique does. And like I said, I'm going to speak more about it later. But yeah, so I'm really interested in reading about that RAS.
Yeah, thing. Definitely, man. Definitely share that video. It's an awesome video.
Yeah, I will. And
nice.
All right, before we wrap up, what's your favorite quote?
Oh man, one of my favorite quotes is not from a particular person. I've just heard it before and it really resonated with me. It's never make excuses. Always wake up with a smile, knowing that today you are going to have fun accomplishing what others are too afraid to do. And that's like pretty much how I try and live my life every single day.
Nice, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you had one last piece of advice for any men listening to, one, improve their lives, and to two, achieve success in the long run, what would it be?
Yeah, you know what, man? Life is short. So at the end of the day, don't give up on a dream just because you think it's going to take so long or it's going to be hard to accomplish it. Like that time's going to pass you by. So commit to something, man. Find your passion, commit to it, and run and run and run until your freaking face melts and your feet fall off. Do that because that's what it takes sometimes to achieve that success.
That's awesome, man. Thank you, dude. And this has been an incredible show. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. And you could see everything that we talk about here and all the links to videos and stuff at menprovement.com/MPP008. You could check out Joel at addictedtosuccess.com. And is there anything else you want people to know about, where they can find you?
No, man. Just addictedtosuccess.com. That's where you find everything. We've also got like a Facebook like box on the right hand sidebar, so like that. You can even type in Joel Brown in Facebook, and you'll find me on there if you want to add me on there or like my fan page. That's pretty much it, man. I'm trying to get out there quite a lot more, doing a lot more podcasts, interviewing a lot of people myself. Thought leaders, entrepreneurs, millionaires, successful people, spiritual people, neuroscientists, and so on and so on. So, keep an eye out for the new podcast and everything that we're putting out as well.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely be subscribed to that. You know, you've got
awesome,
and you've got a very velvety voice for the podcast. So
that's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up there. You know, I hope you guys got a lot out of this, and go out there and crush it, succeed. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the MenProvement Podcast with Sean Russell. Get more episodes, more tips, and download our free self-improvement ebooks at www.menprovement.com.